You know something's gone wrong when doing laundry feels like gambling. You hit start, hear the water fill up, and think, please, not today. Because if you own a washer made in the last 5 years, you already know it's not a machine anymore. It's a mood. One day it's polite and quiet. The next it's shaking like it's trying to escape your house. Once upon a time, washers were tanks. You could throw in a comforter, a rug, a pair of muddy boots, and the thing would hum like a champion. Now, if you breathe too close to the control panel, it throws an error code and cancels the cycle. And dryers, let's just say they've developed a cruel sense of humor. You load your clothes, hit normal dry, and 40 minutes later, still damp. Run it again. Now they're baked. Modern dryers have 2 settings, humid disappointment and crispy regret. But here's the dirty truth. No brand wants to print on their box. These machines aren't dying early. They're being designed to. Manufacturers figured out they don't need you satisfied. They need you stuck, caught between a repair bill that costs half the machine or a new and improved model that promises to fix everything the last one broke. Except it doesn't. Every year they add more sensors, more plastic, more pointless AI smart features, and every year reliability goes down. It's like putting Bluetooth on a toaster. Cute, but nobody asked. One repair tech told me, these new washers have more computer chips than a slot machine, and the odds aren't much better. He's right. You're not buying a washer anymore. You're buying a subscription to repairs. And that's exactly what we're about to expose. The brands that went from bulletproof to barely functioning, the machines that look high-tech but break faster than your patience, and the companies quietly cashing in every time yours fails. Because in 2025, doing laundry shouldn't feel like defusing a bomb. But for millions of people, it does. Let's be fair, not every washer today is junk. Some are genuinely good, but the problem is you don't know which one you're getting until you've already dragged it up the stairs, hooked it up, and discovered it's got the personality of a drama queen. So let's break it down, brand by brand. The hits, the misses, and the ones that should come with a therapist hotline instead of a warranty card. Samsung, the drama queen of appliances. Nobody makes a prettier washer. Glossy finish, spaceship buttons, and that fancy melody when it finishes a cycle. It's like your laundry is applauding itself. But beneath that stylish surface, Samsung washers are the divas of the appliance world. They look amazing on day one. They'll even impress your guests, but over time things start to get emotional. Noise, shaking, and random error codes that sound like they came from NASA. And when you finally call support, the answer is always the same. Have you tried resetting it? Here's the irony. Samsung knows how to build world-class tech. Their phones, their TVs, even their vacuums, all great, but washers, it's like the one class they skipped in engineering school. It's not that every Samsung washer is bad, it's that too many age badly. The newer models have improved reliability and their drum balance tech is better than it used to be. But if you're buying one, treat it gently. It's a relationship, not a machine. LG, the overachiever with a weak spot. LG washers are like the honor students of the laundry world. Top of the class, but a little too sensitive. They wash beautifully. They're quiet and the energy efficiency is no joke. But the trade-off is that when something breaks, it's rarely cheap or simple. A broken motor, $250. A control board, more than some used washers cost. Technicians say LG's biggest problem isn't performance, it's repairability. Parts are expensive and the machines are built like puzzles designed by perfectionists. If something inside goes wrong, it's not a screwdriver job. It's a call to the repair shop. That said, if you want great cleaning performance and don't mind treating your washer like a piece of high-end tech, LG is still one of the better bets. Just know you're paying for precision, not endurance. Whirlpool, the old champion. Trying to stay relevant? Whirlpool used to be the name you could trust blindfolded. Every American household had one and they just ran year after year. But now let's just say the crown's a little rusty. Whirlpool's still building decent machines, but the company spread itself thin. They make too many models, chase too many trends, and not all of them hit the mark. The good news, the simple Whirlpool top loaders are still tanks. Skip the touchscreen ones and go for the mechanical dial models. They might look boring, but they'll outlive your next. 2 cell phones. It's when you get into their high-end smart line that things start falling apart. Literally. More features, more problems. But overall, Whirlpool deserves respect for still giving people options that last. The rebound story. GE had a rough few years. Let's be real. A decade ago, their washers had more recalls than good reviews. But recently, something shifted. Their newer models are sturdier, simpler, and easier to service. GES now focusing on reliability again, and technicians are noticing. It's like the brand sobered up, hit the gym, and came back stronger. Sure, they still have hiccups, especially on cheaper front-load models, but overall GE is quietly rebuilding its reputation. If Whirlpool is the veteran and Samsung is the celebrity, GE is the comeback kid. Maytag the workhorse with a marketing problem. Remember when mag commercials used to brag about never breaking? Well, they kind of jinxed themselves. Mag machines are still solid, especially the commercial grade ones, but they've been overshadowed by Whirlpool, their parent company. Some newer Maytags share the same internals as Whirlpool's, just with fancier badges. That said, their commercial series top loaders are no joke. Metal parts, real weight, fewer electronics, the kind of build that reminds you of the old school reliability people miss. The issue is consistency. Some models are tanks, others feel like copycats. So, if you're buying Maytag, look for the ones with mechanical knobs, not touchscreen panels. Those are the ones that still have that old MagTag man spirit. Amana, the budget hero that forgot to evolve. AMA is like that friend who peaked in high school. Reliable once, still decent now, but not exactly exciting. Their washers are affordable, simple, and built with Whirlpool DNA, but they haven't really innovated in years. If you want basic, no-nonsense performance, for a small household, Amano's fine. But don't expect miracles. They're slow, loud, and lack modern features. Though, ironically, that's what makes them more reliable. It's not a bad buy. It's just average. A solid B- brand in a world full of overcomplicated A students that flunk real life. And here's the twist. The brands that brag the loudest about smart cycles and AI washing are usually the ones that cause the most headaches. Meanwhile, the ones that still look old-fashioned, they're quietly surviving because real reliability doesn't need Wi-Fi. It just needs good metal, smart engineering, and the humility to know that washing clothes doesn't need to feel like launching a rocket. Let's get one thing straight. It's not you. You're not overloading it. You're not washing wrong. Modern washers just aren't built for real life anymore. They're built for lab tests, those perfect little trials where engineers wash 2 towels and a sock to see if a machine can save energy. And yeah, it saves energy mostly by not doing the job. Remember when eco mode sounded like a good thing? Turns out it's just a polite way of saying we're not using enough water to actually clean anything. Your clothes come out looking refreshed until you realize refreshed means still dirty, just slightly damp with good intentions. It's all about hitting energy efficiency standards, not cleaning standards. Brands brag about using 30% less water, but they don't tell you that half the time you'll be rewashing loads twice. So, congratulations, you just saved the planet by using twice the power. Front load versus top load, the real story. This debate has been going on longer than most of us have owned washing machines. Front loaders look sleek, efficient, and European like the Tesla of laundry. Top loaders, they look like they belong in your grandma's basement, but they just keep working. Front loads are great when they're new. Quieter, gentler on clothes, use less water, but as soon as they age, they develop one nasty personality trait, the smell. If you've ever opened your washer door and caught that wet dog and socks aroma, congratulations. You've met mildew. All that trapped moisture, rubber seals, and leftover detergent create a swamp that no self-clean cycle ever really fixes. And sure, you can clean it, but nobody buys a $1,200 machine to babysit it with vinegar every week. Top loaders, meanwhile, are louder, use more water, and take up more space. But they're also the most forgiving machines left on Earth. You can throw in blankets, jeans, towels, and somehow it just powers through. No sensor tantrums, no locking doors like it's Fort Knox, no unbalanced load detected flashing at you mid-cycle. Top loaders are like that old pickup truck your neighbor still drives. Not flashy, but impossible to kill. Plastic parts, real problems. Here's another dirty little secret. Most washers today are made of more plastic than your detergent bottle. Drums used to be stainless steel. Now it's composite material. Transmission parts, plastic. Door latches, plastic. Even the gears that spin your clothes, you guessed it, plastic. And that's fine for the first few years. But once that plastic starts to age and vibrate, it doesn't crack gracefully. It shatters like cheap sunglasses in the sun. Manufacturers call it cost optimization. Technicians call it job security. Too smart for their own good. Then there's the AI era. Oh, your washer is smart. That's great until it decides your laundry isn't optimal for washing right now. Smart sensors, load detectors, automatic soap dispensers, all sound futuristic until you realize they fail, like Wi-Fi at your grandma's house. Half the service calls today aren't for broken motors. They're for frozen software. One viewer told us this: "My washer froze halfway through a cycle and wouldn't unlock the door for 3 hours. I had to Google how to soft reboot it like it was a crashed laptop." That's not progress. That's punishment. Nobody asked for a washer that talks back or gives attitude. They just wanted clean socks. The myth of quiet machines you've seen, the ads, silent operation, whisper spin, vibration reduction technology. Sure, in the commercial and real life, most of them sound like they're trying to take off from your laundry room. And if you have an upstairs washer, good luck. That low vibration motor will turn your floor into a trampoline every time you wash sheets. The irony is that many machines have fancy balance sensors, but those sensors panic faster than a cat in a thunderstorm. One slightly uneven load, and the machine stops, shakes, restarts, and gives up, like it's having an existential crisis mid-cycle. But it's not all bad news. There's hope. The truth is, the design problem isn't that we've gotten worse. It's that we've gotten too clever for our own good. The tech itself isn't evil. It's just been overdone. A simple digital control. Great. Full touchscreen with Wi-Fi diagnostics. Nobody needs that. The best washers today are the ones that quietly mix old school engineering with just enough modern efficiency. Machines with metal parts where it counts, smart controls that don't overthink, and cycles that actually use enough water to clean. They're out there, but you need to know what to look for. And that's exactly what we'll get into next, because while most people are still chasing brands, we'll show you how to spot real build quality, what features actually matter, and which machines will still be running long after the smart ones forget your Wi-Fi password. Let's end on a high note, because not every brand has lost its mind chasing AI laundry. Some still remember the simple mission: wash the clothes, dry the clothes, don't die doing it. After weeks of research, repair reports, and hundreds of owner stories, here's what still works in the real world of spilled coffee, muddy jeans, and towels that never dry on the first try. Speed Queen, the old school legend. If you've ever talked to a real appliance tech, not a YouTube ad, a real one, they'll tell you. If you want a washer that'll outlive you, buy a Speed Queen. These machines don't care about smart sensors or fancy cycles. They're built like the ones from the 90s. Steel, weight, torque, simplicity, and the sound they make. That deep mechanical churn that says, "I'm not fancy, I'm effective." They don't vibrate, they don't beep, and they don't beg for software updates. They just work. They're also not cheap. But if you want something that lasts 20 years instead of 3, it's money well spent. One viewer told us, "I bought a Speed Queen in 2016. My neighbor bought 2 Samsungs since then. Guess who's still watching?" MateTag commercial series, the blue-collar beast. MateTag might have lost some trust with their standard line, but their commercial series top loaders are a different breed. They're built with old Whirlpool DNA, heavy-duty parts, metal gears, and none of the flimsy plastic nonsense. You won't find touchscreen panels or Wi-Fi here. Just a solid, honest-to-goodness washer that's not afraid of a heavy load. If your laundry room feels like a construction zone, pets, kids, and mud everywhere, this is the kind of machine that just shrugs and says, "Let's go again." GE Profile, the quiet comeback. G is not perfect, but they're improving faster than anyone expected. The new GE Profile line finally brings back some of that old reliability with modern brains that actually behave. The motors are stronger, the sensors less dramatic, and the balancing system surprisingly good. They're quiet, powerful, and don't require a PhD in settings to operate. If you want something modern but stable, GE's earned its seat back at the table. Whirlpool Top Load, the safe bet. Here's the thing about Whirlpool. They never fully lost it. They just got distracted trying to look innovative. Their basic top loaders with mechanical dials are still rock solid. They don't win beauty contests, but they're dependable. They remind you that sometimes old-fashioned is just another word for works. Avoid the smart versions. Skip the fancy load and go soap gimmick, and you'll have a washer that does its job without a meltdown. Electrolux, the quiet performer. Here's a brand that doesn't get enough love. Electrolux front loaders are surprisingly gentle, quiet, and reliable, especially for smaller spaces or apartments. They're not built like tanks, but they balance efficiency with real-world usability better than most. One owner told us, "I run my Electrolux 5 times a week. It's not loud. It doesn't leak, and it doesn't talk back. That's all I want." Sometimes that's all anyone wants. The real buying guide. No buzzwords, just truth. If you want a washer that actually lasts, here's your checklist. No touchscreen panels, physical knobs only, no auto-sensing water if you can avoid it. Manual water levels clean better. Stainless steel drum, not plastic, simple top-load design, fewer moving parts, made in the US, or assembled from domestic components if possible. You don't need 37 wash cycles. You need one good one that always works. And that's where most modern machines fail. They try to do everything and end up doing nothing well. The bottom line, it's not nostalgia to want things that last. It's common sense. Your grandparents' washer didn't have Wi-Fi, but it sure had reliability. It wasn't smart, but it never once forgot what clean meant. The future doesn't have to mean fragile. We can have innovation and durability, but only if we stop rewarding brands for shiny screens and start rewarding them for solid machines. So before you buy your next washer or dryer, remember this. You're not just buying an appliance, you're buying peace of mind. And that's something no touchscreen can measure. So next time you're standing in that appliance aisle surrounded by glowing LEDs and big promises, remember, the real luxury isn't a smart washer. It's one that just works year after year without needing attention. Stay sharp, spend smart, and keep your laundry and your money clean. Join NextGen Picks, where we expose what others advertise.